PHP and Clojure are two very different languages. In fact, the first time you see Clojure, you might think it looks like some kind of JSON on crack. Then you get into it a little deeper, and the philosophy and methodology behind Clojure may seem equally bizarre. You know that once you get past these initial hurdles, Clojure is an extremely powerful and elegant language, but what's the best way to start to get a handle on it? Well, there's a few tricks we can use to make Clojure seem a little less alien. There are some aspects of Clojure that are pretty close to PHP, and others can be made to seem similar if you look at them in the right way. Take namespaces, for example. There's a lot of familiar territory here. Just like in PHP, Clojure namespaces have multiple parts, and the parts describe a directory structure. Clojure prefers namespaces that are all lowercase instead of capitalized, and uses dots instead of backslashes. But other than that, Clojure namespaces are pretty much the same concept as PHP namespaces. Then there's all those parentheses. Clojure code puts the function name inside the parentheses along with the arguments. That seems weird at first, but here's the trick. Just think of it like a templating language. Imagine you could add your own tags to HTML to do more complicated things than just forms and images and text. Imagine you could make your own if tag, or for tag, or tags that assign values to variables. That would be pretty awesome, right? Then just imagine using nice round parentheses instead of sharp angle brackets. Get rid of a bit of unnecessary duplication and punctuation, and poof, you've got Clojure. Okay, maybe not quite Clojure, but pretty close. With a bit of practice, you might find you prefer this sort of syntax. It's compact, expressive, and easy to read, except for all that punctuation piled up at the end. In Clojure, it's conventional to put all your closing brackets on the same line to save space. Don't worry, if you're coding in any editor more modern than Notepad, there are tools to do parenthesis matching for you. You don't need to count that out by hand. There's a couple more things you can look at to help bridge the gap between PHP and Clojure: anonymous functions and a trio of PHP's array functions. PHP refers to anonymous functions as closures with an S, but that's pronounced the same as closure with a J, so to avoid confusion, we'll always refer to them as anonymous functions. If you haven't used anonymous functions in PHP, you've been missing out on a powerful tool, and you might want to take some time to play with them in PHP to get more familiar with them. That will make it easier to understand how functions work in Clojure, and it will make you a better programmer in PHP besides. The three array functions that you need to know are array map, array filter, and array reduce. These are three extremely powerful constructs that you may not have been taking full advantage of in PHP, so if you take some time to get to know them better, you'll have a head start on learning the corresponding Clojure functions named map, filter, and reduce. In the next video, we'll take a short break from Clojure and do just a few quick exercises in writing functional style PHP with array map, array reduce, array filter, and anonymous functions.